Welcome back to ZE Coins. If you've ever held a quarter in your hand and wondered whether it's just worth 25 cents or a whole lot more, then this video is for you. Because today we are diving into the top 5 most valuable Washington quarter dollar coins that could be worth thousands, even millions of dollars in today's collector market. So stick around because number 1 on this list might just blow your mind. We are diving deep into the history and value of a coin that most people overlook every day. I'm talking about the 1973 Washington quarter dollar. Believe it or not, some of these coins are worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars today. So make sure you watch this video until the end to learn how to spot these valuable pieces hiding in plain sight. Let's begin with the basics. The Washington quarter has been an iconic American coin since 1932. It was originally introduced to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The design, created by John Flanagan, features a left-facing portrait of President Washington on the obverse, with the word Liberty above his head and the motto "In God We Trust" to the left. The reverse side of the coin shows a bold eagle perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches below. Now, let's zoom into the year 1973. In 1973, the United States Mint produced the Washington quarter at 3 different facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia coins have no mint mark, the Denver coins have a D mint mark, and the San Francisco coins have an S mint mark. Here's the key: not all 1973 quarters are created equal. Some varieties and mint errors from that year can be worth big money to collectors. First, let's talk about mintage numbers. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 346 million quarters in 1973. The Denver Mint struck over 232 million. Meanwhile, the San Francisco Mint created around 2.7 million proof quarters. With so many coins in circulation, you might think these are common. And generally, yes, most 1973 quarters are worth just face value if they're worn. But it's the rare varieties, mint errors, and high-grade examples that command the big bucks. Let's break down the most valuable types of 1973 quarters you need to look out for. Number 1. High-grade mint state quarters. These are coins that were never used in circulation and have no wear. If your 1973 quarter is in pristine condition, especially graded MS67 or higher by a grading company like PCGS or NGC, it could be worth anywhere from $50 to several $100s. In fact, one 1973 D quarter graded MS68 sold for over $1,500 at auction. Number 2. Proof quarters from San Francisco. These were specially made for collectors and never intended for circulation. If you find one in perfect condition, especially if it's a deep cameo, it can sell for $100 to $300. Some even go for more depending on the eye appeal. Number 3. Mint errors. These are where things get really interesting. A 1973 quarter with a major error can fetch thousands of dollars. Some known errors include off-center strikes, double die obverse, clipped planchets, and coins struck on the wrong metal. For example, a 1973 quarter that was mistakenly struck on a penny planchet, meaning it's copper-colored and weighs less than normal, has sold for over $2,000. Another high-value error is the double die obverse. This means the coin was struck with a die that had a doubled image, making letters and numbers look blurry or duplicated. These are extremely rare for the 1973 quarter, but if found, they can be worth hundreds or more. Let's also not forget about full strike coins with strong details. Quarters from this era often suffered from weak strikes, so if yours has sharp, full details on the eagle feathers and Washington's hair, that can increase its desirability and value. Now let's talk about the current market. As of now, the average circulated 1973 quarter is worth 25 cents. But uncirculated examples in high grades sell for anywhere between $20 and $75 depending on the condition. Proof versions sell for $30 to $150. Major error coins can reach up to $2,000 or more, depending on the rarity and demand. Coin values are driven by collector interest and scarcity. The rarer the coin, the more someone is willing to pay. So if you have a 1973 quarter in a coin jar or pocket change, now's the time to check it carefully. Here's what to look for. First, check for the mint mark. Is it a D, an S, or no mint mark at all? Next, inspect the condition. The less wear and scratches, the better. Then, weigh the coin. A standard quarter should weigh about 5.67 grams. If it's significantly lighter or heavier, that could indicate an error coin. Use a magnifying glass to check the details. Look for doubling, off-center strikes, or signs that it might be struck on the wrong metal, and if you think you found something special, get it graded by a reputable company like PCGS or NGC. A professional grade can significantly boost your coin's value and make it easier to sell at auctions or to serious collectors. Before we wrap up, here's a quick recap. The 1973 Washington quarter is mostly common, but certain versions can be worth serious money. Look for high-grade uncirculated coins, proof coins from San Francisco, and rare mint errors. Always check weight, strike quality, and mint marks. And never underestimate the value of what might look like just pocket change. We're diving deep into the fascinating story of the 1974 Washington quarter dollar, a coin that might look ordinary at first glance, but in the world of numismatics, it carries history, intrigue, and in some rare cases, significant value. Let's explore everything you need to know about the 1974 quarter, from its design and minting to rare varieties, errors, and how much these coins are worth today. First, a bit of background. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first President of the United States. It was originally intended to be a one-year commemorative coin, but it became so popular that it replaced the standing Liberty quarter and remained in production permanently. Fast forward to 1974. The Washington quarter of this year was struck in large quantities by three mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Let's take a look at each mint and what makes their coin special. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 801 million quarters in 1974. These coins bear no mint mark. While most of these are common and found in everyday circulation, some in uncirculated or proof-like condition can be worth more than face value, especially to collectors who prize pristine coins. The Denver Mint, on the other hand, struck over 353 million quarters in 1974. These coins are identified by a small D mint mark on the obverse side of the coin, just to the right of Washington's ponytail. Like the Philadelphia coins, Denver minted quarters from 1974 are mostly common, but again, condition is everything. Now here's where things get more interesting. The San Francisco Mint produced over 2.6 million proof coins in 1974. These quarters were not intended for circulation. They were struck specifically for collectors using polished dies and special planchets, giving them a mirror-like finish and exceptional detail. If you come across a 1974 S-proof quarter, chances are it came from a proof set. In perfect proof condition, especially if graded PR 69 or higher, these coins can be worth anywhere from $10 to over $30 depending on demand. Now let's talk about what every coin collector is really looking for: valuable errors and rare varieties. There is a particularly rare and exciting version of the 1974 quarter that was accidentally struck on a 40% silver planchet, likely left over from the production of the 1970s silver Eisenhower dollars. These off-metal errors are incredibly rare. In 2016, one such coin was discovered and sold for over $1,100 at auction. Always check the weight of your quarters. A standard copper-nickel quarter weighs about 5.67 grams, while a silver planchet would weigh closer to 6.25 grams. If you have a scale and suspect your coin is heavier, get it checked out by a reputable grading service. Another rare error to watch for is a double die or double die obverse. This is when the design elements, especially the date or the word Liberty, appear slightly doubled. These errors can be subtle, but when certified, they add significant value. Depending on the severity and condition, double die 1974 quarters have been known to sell for anywhere from $50 to several $100s. Then there are off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and broad-struck errors. These are mistakes made during the minting process and can lead to unique, one-of-a-kind pieces that collectors pay handsomely for. Even minor off-center errors can command prices between $10 and $50, while more extreme cases can be worth over $100. Now let's move on to grading, one of the most important aspects when it comes to value. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale, which ranges from 1 to 70. A coin graded MS 60 and above is considered uncirculated, with MS-65 to MS-68 being particularly valuable depending on rarity and demand. For example, a 1974 Philadelphia quarter in mint state 65 condition can be worth about $5 to $15. That's not bad for a coin you might find in a drawer. But if you have a perfectly preserved MS-67 or MS-68 example, you could be looking at values ranging from $100 to several $100s. The same goes for Denver minted coins. A 1974 D quarter in MS-67 has sold for over $200 at auction. The highest graded examples are rare, and competition among collectors can drive up the price significantly. Let's not forget about the proof coins from San Francisco. A deep cameo proof in PR-69 or perfect PR-70 condition could be worth $20 to $50 depending on the market. As of today's market, most circulated 1974 quarters are still worth face value, 25 cents. But when we look at the rare errors, high grades, and proof issues, the value can jump substantially. Collectors love to pay for quality, rarity, and historical uniqueness. So how do you know if you've got a valuable 1974 quarter? Start by checking three things: the mint mark, the condition, and any visible errors. If you think you have a rare one, consider sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. A small investment in authentication can mean a big return in value. In conclusion, while most 1974 Washington quarters are common, certain varieties, high-grade specimens, and rare errors can be worth big money. It's all about knowing what to look for and being persistent. Who knows, the next valuable coin might be hiding in your pocket change. We explore the hidden gems of coin collecting history. If you've ever held a pocket full of quarters and wondered if one of them might be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, you're in the right place. Today we're diving into the story of the 1981 P. Washington quarter. At first glance, it may seem like just another quarter in your change jar, but there's a lot more to this coin than meets the eye. Let's start with the basics. The 1981 P. Washington quarter was minted in Philadelphia, as indicated by the small P mint mark on the obverse of the coin. This quarter features the classic image of George Washington facing left on the front, with the word liberty above his head and the phrase "In God We Trust" to the left. On the reverse is the iconic image of a bald eagle with outstretched wings, perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches below. A symbol of strength and peace, this design has become one of the most recognized in American coinage. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 601 million of these quarters in 1981. That's right, more than 601 million. So at first glance, you might think these coins are too common to be valuable. But as any seasoned collector knows, it's not just about how many were minted, it's about condition, rarity, and those special errors that make all the difference. So what makes the 1981 P. Washington quarter potentially worth big money? Let's talk about mint errors. Error coins are a hot topic in the numismatic world, and the 1981 P. quarter has some notable examples. Some of the most valuable versions of this coin have what's known as double die errors. This happens during the minting process when the die that strikes the coin design hits the blank more than once, slightly offset. The result is a doubling effect on letters or features, and collectors love these. If you happen to find a 1981 P quarter with doubling on the word liberty, on George Washington's profile, or even on the eagle's feathers, don't spend it. These can sell for hundreds of dollars, depending on the severity of the doubling and the coin's overall condition. Then there are off-center strikes, where the design isn't centered on the coin. The more off-center it is, without losing the date, the higher the value. A 1981 P quarter with a strong off-center error can fetch between $50 to $200 or more. Next up are high-grade specimens. Most quarters from 1981 were used in everyday transactions, so they're worn and scratched. But if you find one in uncirculated condition, that's a coin that shows no signs of wear and still has its original mint luster, you're looking at some serious potential value. A coin graded MS-65 or higher can sell from $50 to over $100, and in some rare cases, even more, but the real jackpot. Coins graded MS-67 and above. These are rare. In fact, only a handful of 1981 P quarters have been graded this high by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. When they hit the market, they can sell for hundreds, and sometimes even approach the $1,000 mark depending on the demand and the coin's eye appeal. Now let's talk about full strike and eye appeal. Coins with sharply detailed designs, full steps on the eagle's wings, and strong strike lines attract serious collectors. Combine that with bright, original luster and no visible nicks, and you've got a coin that's worth far more than 25 cents. It's also worth noting that the 1981 Washington quarter is a pre-modern coin. This was before the U.S. Mint started making quarters for collectors as part of the state quarters program in 1999. That makes earlier quarters like the 1981 part of the classic Washington quarter series, which ran from 1932 to 1998. Collectors looking to complete full date and mint mark sets are always searching for top-grade examples of these older coins. So what's the market like today for 1981 quarters? As of right now, circulated examples in average condition are only worth face value. But once you step into higher grades, the values rise fast. Uncirculated coins typically sell from $5 to $25, and coins with high mint state grades, especially MS-66 and MS-67, can fetch over $100. The record price for a 1981 Washington quarter stands at more than $500 for a coin graded MS-67 by PCGS, and it's not just mint errors or grades. Some coins show unique toning, that's the natural discoloration that happens over time, creating blues, purples, and golds on the surface of the coin. Collectors love beautifully toned coins, and they often sell at a premium. So how can you tell if your 1981 quarter is worth something? Start by examining it under good lighting. Look for any doubling, misalignments, or off-center features. Check for luster, does it shine like a freshly minted coin, or is it dull and scratched? If you think it might be uncirculated or if you notice something unusual, it might be worth sending it to a grading service. Yes, grading costs money, but if your coin comes back with a high grade or a rare error, it could be worth it. And don't forget, coin collecting isn't just about money. It's about the thrill of the hunt, the beauty of design, and the stories these coins tell about our nation's past. The 1981 Washington quarter might just be sitting in your pocket change right now, waiting to be discovered. So go ahead, check those old jars, dig through your coin rolls, and take a close look at those quarters. You never know when a simple 25-cent coin could turn into a $100 treasure. We dive deep into the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins. Today, we're taking a closer look at one coin that might be hiding in your change jar or coin collection. It's the 1982 Washington quarter, and believe it or not, this little piece of American currency has made quite a name for itself among collectors. What makes it so special? Why is it worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars in some cases? And what should you be looking for if you happen to come across one? Let's find out. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. It became so popular that it replaced the standing Liberty quarter and continued to be minted for decades. The obverse of the coin features a left-facing bust of George Washington, designed by sculptor John Flanagan. On the reverse, you'll see the majestic eagle with outstretched wings, a symbol of American strength and resilience. For most collectors, Washington quarters minted before 1965 are the most desirable because they were struck in 90% silver. But there's something unusual about the 1982 quarter that makes it stand out, even though it contains no silver at all. To understand the value of the 1982 quarter, we need to look at what was happening in the United States Mint during that time. In 1982, the Mint was facing major budget cuts. To save money, they decided to stop producing uncirculated mint sets. This meant fewer high-quality coins were being preserved, and most 1982 quarters went directly into circulation. Over time, many of these coins became worn down or damaged through regular use. As a result, finding a 1982 quarter in excellent condition became much harder than usual. This scarcity created a demand among collectors who wanted pristine examples of the coin, pushing up its market value significantly, but that's not the only reason why the 1982 quarter is special. There's also a minting issue that added to its fame. In 1982, the Mint switched from using a heavier, clearer die to a lighter one. Because of this, the detail on many coins from that year, especially the Denver minted quarters, came out softer and more prone to wear. On top of that, there are known errors associated with 1982 quarters. Some were struck without mint marks. Others have double dies, off-center strikes, or missing clad layers. These errors turn a regular coin into a collector's dream. Let's talk about values. A regular 1982 Washington quarter in average circulated condition isn't going to make you rich. You might get a few cents above face value if someone is interested in it for their date and mint set. But if you have a 1982 quarter in uncirculated condition, things change. One in mint state 65 condition can sell for over $50. If the coin is graded mint state 67 or higher, it can fetch $200 or more at auction. And rare examples with full strike details or with special errors can sell for even more. In one case, a 1982 quarter with a rare mint error sold for over $1,000. These kinds of sales prove that this coin, despite being relatively modern, holds serious value in the right condition. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins with strong strikes, clean surfaces, and full details. For Washington quarters, there's something called a full drumlines designation, referring to the detailed lines on the eagle's tail feathers. Quarters from 1982 often lack this because of the weak dies used that year, but when you do find one with sharp detail, it's considered a top-tier piece. Now let's turn to the current market. As of now, in 2025, interest in Washington quarters continues to rise. The rise of coin collecting on social media and YouTube has brought new attention to coins like the 1982 Grading services like PCGS and NGC have helped confirm the rarity and value of these coins, and auctions continue to reflect strong demand. On eBay and other online platforms, uncirculated examples can list for $100 to $200, depending on their condition. Error coins can go for much higher. Just make sure you're looking at authenticated examples. There are many replicas and fakes floating around, especially when money is involved. So what should you do if you think you have a 1982 quarter worth money? First, examine the coin under good lighting. Check the date, look for the D mint mark which should appear on the front of the coin near Washington's ponytail. Inspect the surface for signs of doubling, off-center strikes, or missing layers. If the coin appears to be in extremely good shape with little to no wear, consider having it professionally graded. Coin grading can cost money, so make sure it's worth the investment by comparing it to recently sold coins of the same type and condition. To wrap things up, the 1982 Washington quarter might seem like just another coin at first glance, but its unique place in mint history, combined with its scarcity and high-grade condition and its error varieties, has made it one of the most sought-after modern quarters. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a curious beginner, it's always worth checking your change. You never know when you might come across one of these little treasures. Hold on to it, get it graded, and you might just find yourself with a coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. We are diving deep into one of the most fascinating modern coins, the 2022 Washington quarter dollar. You may have one of these in your pocket change, but what you don't know is that it could be worth far more than 25 cents. Let's unravel the full story, its history, production, rare errors, and the current market value that has collectors scrambling. Let's start with a bit of context. The Washington quarter has been a cornerstone of U.S. coinage since 1932, originally designed to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington. Over the years, it has seen many design changes, from the eagle on the reverse to the famous State Quarters series and the America the Beautiful program. But in 2022, something very different happened. A new design launched what's called the American Women Quarters program, celebrating influential women in American history. And this is where the 2022 quarter gains historical and collectible importance. The 2022 quarter features the likeness of poet and civil rights activist Maya Angelou on the reverse, with the familiar portrait of George Washington redesigned on the obverse by sculptor Laura Garden Fraser. A design that had actually been proposed nearly a century ago but was shelved in favor of John Flanagan version. The P mint mark stands for Philadelphia, one of the oldest mints in the United States and still a primary hub for coin production. The Philadelphia Mint struck millions of these quarters, but as always, in the world of numismatics, it's not about how many were made. It's about which ones are rare. Now let's talk money, because believe it or not, some 2022 P Washington quarters are worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. But why? Let's break it down. First up, condition. Coins that are in pristine condition, what collectors call mint state or MS coins, carry a premium. A 2022 P quarter graded MS67 or MS68 by PCGS or NGC could sell anywhere between $30 to $100. While that might not seem like a lot, keep in mind this is a coin you could find in circulation today, but what really drives big money is errors. Some of the most sought after 2022 P quarter errors include die chips, doubling, and misstrikes. One of the most famous is the drooling George error, where a die chip appears near Washington's mouth, making it look like he's drooling. It sounds silly, but collectors love quirky errors like these, and some have sold for over $200. Another error to watch for is the dramatic strike-through error. In some cases, foreign material got stuck in the die, creating a deep, unusual mark on the coin's surface. These can fetch hundreds of dollars at auction, depending on their visibility and how rare they are. And then there's the Holy Grail, coins with multiple errors or coins graded MS69 or higher, which are nearly flawless. These can sell for over $1,000, especially if they're first strikes or have exceptional eye appeal. So how do you know if you've got a winner? Start by checking the mint mark. If it's AP, you're looking at the Philadelphia version. Next, look closely at both sides of the coin. Use a magnifying glass or a microscope if you can. Look for doubling on the text, die cracks, die chips, or any strange marks that seem out of place. If it looks unusual, it might be worth submitting to a grading service. Now let's talk current market value. As of mid-2025, a standard 2022 P Washington quarter in circulated condition is still worth face value, 25 cents. But uncirculated rolls can go for $20 or more, and coins graded MS67 or higher can pull in serious premiums. On online marketplaces like eBay, collectors are paying anywhere from $5 to $500, depending on condition and type of error. In professional auctions, rare errors and high-grade coins continue to rise in demand and price, making this a modern coin to watch closely. So why does this matter? Because for the first time in years, the average American has a real shot at finding a valuable coin right in their pocket. The 2022 P quarter is more than just currency, it's a slice of living history, a tribute to American culture, and a chance to join the world of coin collectors where even small change can lead to big payoffs. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone just starting to check their change a little more carefully, the 2022 P Washington quarter is a coin worth knowing about. Keep an eye out. It just might change your luck. Thanks for watching Coin World Uncovered. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell icon for more deep dives into the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins. Drop a comment below if you found a rare 2022 quarter or want to share your collection story. See you next time, and happy hunting.